Hey y'all, welcome back to Toya's Garden Haven. You want to hear about all the seeds that I plan to winter sow? Make sure you stay tuned. All right, y'all, welcome back to Toya's Garden Haven. My name is Toya. I garden in Missouri in Zone 6B. I have recently been learning a lot about winter sowing. And once I started watching various videos and learning about the different methods to winter sow or cold stratification, whatever you choose to use as your definition, I thought that this would be a great way to give my seeds a head start. So I decided to go ahead and try it out. Okay. But first, before I try it out with you all on camera, of course, I wanted to share with you all what winter sowing is, what the benefits are, all those things. Now, I will say that I have watched several YouTube videos, so I will make sure to link below some videos that I've watched as well on winter sowing that has really helped me to gain a better understanding of what it is and the benefits of it. But winter sowing is just a method of starting your seeds outdoors in the winter. And it's generally done with seeds that require some period of cold stratification, right? And so cold stratification then is a process that kind of exposes your seeds to a period of cold and warm conditions to encourage germination, okay? So generally, right, you would put them in a moist medium like sand, vermiculite, put them in a sealed container or a plastic bag for 1 to 3 months, and you would put them in the refrigerator, whatever you prefer, right? You can even soak your seeds for like 6 to 12 hours to speed up that germination. But essentially what you're doing is you are mimicking your seeds spending time in the ground in winter is what you're essentially doing. So you can choose to do your cold stratification through indoors, in your refrigerator, in your freezer, but you can also choose to plant your seeds outside. Most people do jugs, water bottles, that sort of thing. Some people actually do the seed cell trays that you use to start plants indoors, but you put them in a plastic container. Make sure you have drainage on the bottom and on the top, all those pieces. So what I'm choosing to do is use old water jugs, milk jugs, other, juice jugs, all that kind of stuff to start my seeds outside in the winter to give them a jump start on germination, but then also hopefully to get an earlier harvest. Okay, so there are some seeds that do well with cold stratification, and just because a seed needs cold stratification does not necessarily mean that you have to do it. Just know that it may not germinate if that cold stratification is not done. So when you're looking at, the seeds that you want to winter sow, you want to think about, you want to be looking for certain words, right? When you're looking at your seed packets, right? So perennial is a good one. Cool season crop, frost hardy, perennial, cold tolerant, hardy annual, those sorts of things are what are the words that you want to look for on the back of your seed packets or when you are researching those seeds. So just some examples of things that you can winter sow. You can winter sow flowers like calendula, snapdragon, zinnias, cosmos. You can do lettuce, kale, a lot of your Asian greens, radishes, beets, green onions, broccoli, cauliflower, spinach. Like all of those are great ideas for things that you can winter sow. The other thing that you want to think about with winter sowing is the type of crop that you plan to grow, right? Because there are some that don't want their roots disturbed, and so it's better to put them out into the garden, do a direct sow, and not start them indoors. So that would be things like your radishes, your beets, stuff like that. And so if you are, and sometimes spinach is a direct sow option, But for those types of plants, you can plant them directly into your garden, right? And then just, let the winter, have its way. Some things that I am thinking about winter sowing are as follows. We will start with the flowers first, okay? So I have calendula, which I will be winter sowing. All right, I have snapdragons, and I have 2 seed packets. I'll use one and then go to the other after that. So, but snapdragons, which are just beautiful flowers. I really love these. Zinnias are another option that I will be winter sowing. Cosmos is another one. And then also wildflowers to get in some pollinators and such. Okay, so I will be using milk jugs and all that stuff to do my winter sowing. And so, like I said, I'll have a more detailed video later, but I just kind of wanted to show you what I am anticipating winter sowing. So now let's move on to our herbs and such. So of course, cilantro. If you know me, you know I love cilantro. So I will be winter sowing these. I'm going to be winter sowing lavender. I'm also going to start it in the house in January just because I don't have a lot that I can start in January, but I'll also winter sow this as well. Oregano is another one. Okay. Chives. Thyme. And also sage. All right, so that is it for the herbs. Now we'll move on to more of our root vegetables, stuff like that. All right, so broccoli, I will definitely be winter sowing. And then I'm also going to do this Chinese broccoli as well, which is like a broccolini. I'm going to be doing my beets, the golden beets to be specific. I'm going to be doing these Tokyo long white, mostly because this seed packet is really old and I just want to see how many will germinate from the seed packet. I'm going to be doing this bunch and onion warrior seed packet as well, or seed as well. And then this cherry bell radish. All right. And so last but not least, we'll hit up the lettuce and Swiss chard. All right, so I'm going to do this little gem lettuce. I'm really doing this because also this seed packet is kind of old. I've had it for a while. We'll just see what germinates from it. We're going to do some black seeded Simpson. We're going to do some Grand Rapids. Bib lettuce. We're going to do some Merlot, some Cimarron, which is another romaine lettuce. I'm also going to do a couple types of mustard green. So I'm going to do the tender green, and I'm also going to do the Southern Giant curled. I'm going to do Swiss chard. Now I have the mixed colors, and I also have the ruby red. And then I also have this Ford Hook Giant, and this is actually from my community garden here where I live. And if you have not investigated whether you have a community garden, that is a good place for you, especially if you are a beginner gardener or looking to get into gardening, because they you can buy seeds. You pay a yearly subscription, you buy seeds, and the seeds are normally cheaper. You can buy starch, you can buy potatoes, garlic, that sort of stuff. They also offer classes. You can volunteer if you would like as well. And you can also purchase a plot to grow your own food there if you don't have a lot of space in your home or outside of your home, in your backyard, patio, all that kind of stuff. But y'all, that is what I plan to grow for my winter sowing project. Like I said, I'll list some videos below of some other folks that have done a great job of explaining this process. I may not do as great of a job as they did, but I do plan to come back here soon and do a video on how I'm going to complete my winter sowing and all the steps that are involved in that. So I hope to see y'all back for that video. But until then, make sure you get your hands in the dirt because it works. All right. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.